I'm Peggy Peck, MedPage Today, reporting from the Heart Rhythm Society in Boston. One of the givens of aging is that the risk of heart disease and other diseases, both chronic and acute, increases with age. And that can pose a problem, as the Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Bruce Wilkoff explains here.
The pacemaker population is mostly a population that is more than 65 years of age. And it turns out that although MR scans are common in young patients, the indications for magnetic resonance imaging doubles after you get to age 65. So with the millions of patients that have pacemaker indications and pacemakers implanted, and then with the many patients that also need MR scans, the overlap between the two groups is enormous.
Dr. Richard Page of the University of Washington described the situation this way.
Pacemakers, by their very nature, are contraindicated in patients who are undergoing MRI. And to put it differently, it's recommended by FDA that one not perform an MRI on a patient who has a pacemaker or an implantable defibrillator.
There are several reasons for this prohibition.
The kinds of problems you can get into are mostly concerns about arrhythmias, either because you get inhibition of the pacemaker and so you have no heart rhythm underneath, or it can trigger rapid heart rhythms. Both are not common but possible and happens at times. And the more permanent type of a problem is that there can be heating induced at the tip of the lead, and quite significant heating. I mean, there have been measurements in vitro testing that increase the temperatures to 30 to 80 degrees above the baseline from centigrade.
The challenge then was to develop an MR-friendly system, which required changes not only in hardware but also programming. Dr. Wilkoff described both the changes and the outcome of a randomized trial of the system.
Changes that have been made to the pacemaker are to prevent the static and then also the varying magnetic fields, the gradient and the radio frequency and the static fields from inducing arrhythmias. So those are changes in both the lead and the pulse generator. In the programming of the device, the way you said it, in the diagnostics of the device, but also in terms of not being able to transmit electricity and then therefore heating at the tip of the lead by not having that induced current at the tip of the lead, particularly from the radio frequency current. Mm-hmm. And so it's a combination of things. It's a system that you have here. It's a pulse generator, it's a lead, and it's a care pathway. And the care pathway includes programming it in certain ways, and evaluation, reevaluation afterwards. But the encouraging thing is that if you follow through this pathway, there were really no effects of the MR scan on the pacing system that we were able to measure.
The success of the trial was encouraging, but Dr. Wilkoff pointed out that this MRI-friendly system is not yet FDA approved, and he had another caution.
The really important point, though, is that we don't have chronic performance on these leads. We really don't know how they're going to perform over years.
However, if this system can pass muster with the FDA, it could provide an important addition to the armamentarium needed to treat an aging nation. In Boston, at the Heart Rhythm Society, I'm Peggy Peck, MedPage Today.